Are you trying to build out your online brand from scratch? Are you struggling to actually get that logo and that design all sorted before you put it out to social? Well, stay with me here as we're going to be looking at the 5 biggest mistakes I see when actually building out an online brand. So hi there, Tim here. And before I jump into this video, I want to give you a free gift. I've put together a list of all the tools that I have used to build this online business in a simple checklist. You can download that for free. Head over to timpeakman.com/tools to get your free copy today. So I'm going to jump straight in then. And the first, or one of the biggest mistakes I see when people start an online brand or their personal brand is they're not sure about who they serve. They're not sure about who their ideal client is. So if you are still unclear on who you serve, who your ideal client is, I have done a separate video on finding your why. This will identify your passion and why you do what you do. I'll link that up to this video, but this will really help you identify who you serve. And the step that people usually miss out is they can't clearly identify to people what they actually do nice and succinctly. So I help online business owners or micro business owners with their systems and process to actually generate online revenue. So those brand owners who can clearly identify what they do will have that advantage over those that can't. Because if you are running an online business, it isn't face-to-face. You have to rely in copy and messaging, and you have to get your message super clear from the start. And then ultimately, you need to understand how to get in front of your ideal client so you can put your messaging in front of them and showcase what you do and what problems you solve. So once you've identified what you do and who you serve, and you can actually put yourself in front of them, the next biggest mistake is I see a lot of brand owners don't have a clear brand message. So this could come down to your colors, your logos, your strapline, the actual message that you put in front of your ideal client. They need to understand exactly what you do. So just think of a brand that you love interacting with. One that comes to my mind is Apple. I have a lot of Apple products. I'm a big Mac user, and every time I see either an email or interact with that brand, it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling that I'm going to get a great product and a great customer experience. So you and your brand need to be this solution to your ideal client. And if you are starting an online company, a lot of this is going to be in your logo, your fonts, your color palettes, and your copy. Seeing as though we're not face-to-face with a lot of our customers and our potential clients, you have to learn good copy to actually get your messaging super clear and in front of them at the right point in time. So another big mistake I see a lot of online business owners spending way too much money on branding. Some small business owners spend thousands on outsourcing this to a specialist, say like spending 5 or 6 grand just to get their initial brand out there. And this is a big mistake in my book because you have to have that initial outlay. It's great if you can afford that, but most small business owners don't have that cash flow right at the start, and you're not going to see that return on investment from the get-go. So especially for solopreneurs or micro business owners, you need to really watch that cash flow. You need to get some income, but manage those outgoings. So I would just recommend just to get started, get something up and running, and you can always rebrand at a later date. Another big mistake is I always see people make it way too complicated. If you have decided to outsource your branding to a specialist, there are some really, really simple solutions that you can actually just Google for them. And I'm going to hop on over into my desktop now and show you a few. So here we are in my desktop, and one of the first ones that I come across and I see quite a lot is Fiverr with 2 R's. This is a simple outsourcing or freelance platform that you can find someone, you can find a branding expert in this example, get in touch with them, outsource your branding to them, but really give them some clear guidelines of exactly what you want and exactly what your budget is. Another example would be Upwork. Again, another credible platform. You can find all sorts of freelancers on this platform. Just sign up and then search for a branding expert, and also try and ask these experts for some of their previous work so you can cross-reference with what styles you like, what work you'd liked and what you didn't like. And another platform that I would actually recommend is 99 Designs. And this is one that I've used quite a few times to actually get some of my logos and my designs out there. And what I like about this platform is you can create a challenge. So you can invite a lot of brand specialists to design your brand for you. You can give them the scope, the outline, what you do and who you serve, and they can actually mock up some of your branding, and then you can actually shortlist a short section to actually go into a final, and then you can give them feedback and then select a winner to work with, and that winner will actually win the contract with you and then get the deal and work with you to design your brand. So I found a number of great designers on this platform just by starting a competition, and actually some of them now I work with on a regular basis because I really like the style, the quality and the output that they offer. So I'd recommend to go with one of these platforms, but really keep your brief simple, keep your design simple, and keep your logo super simple, because with simplicity comes consistency. You need to be consistent in this game, and if you try and overcomplicate things, it's going to be hard to keep up with the output. So a brand that I know, like and trust and I use on a regular is a platform called Kajabi. I use Kajabi for a number of online business tools, and I love their super simple branding. So I have actually taken their lead on when designing my personal brand. So a very, very simple logo and a very, very simple name are the kind of traits that I used to design timpeakman.com. So for example, I'm just going to share with you some of my results from going on 99 Designs, from actually getting a competition up and running and actually getting the finished article, chatting with that designer to try and get what I want down on paper. So as you can see here, this is the logo that I use, a super simple T and an S for the logo, and then just Tim Peakman. It is my personal branding. So I do have a challenge in actually portraying to my ideal customer what I do and how I do it. But another example, keeping it really, really super simple, another variation on a different color background. And I go all the way to actually designing a favicon, which is what you see in the little corner of the tabs when you open a new window in your browser. So at the very least, I would try and get some sort of brand guide. This is the one that I got from my designer. So all the different fonts, all the different logos, all the different color palettes, and you've got your hex codes to use when you're selecting individual color palettes. And so the last biggest mistake I see is people are always striving for perfection. So I would take progression over perfection any day. You don't have to get it perfect, you just have to get it done. And I see a lot of analysis paralysis at this stage of the game. So if you were to only take one thing away from this video, the message from me is just pull the trigger on a simple brand. You can always invest money at a later date and rebrand down the line. So hopefully that's helped. Those 5 big mistakes, again, once more, are you are unclear who you serve. Your brand messaging is unclear. You spend way too much time on these projects, thousands in these projects that you don't see any return. You make it way too complicated, and then you are striving for perfection. Just get it done, pull the trigger, and move on. So that checklist once more, head on over to timpeakman.com/tools to get a free copy of my checklist that I use in this business to grow my personal brand. And I look forward to seeing you on another video soon.